What is the best first-party Nintendo Switch game? We're gonna find out tonight on Show and Tell. You wanna say it, dude? Cue the music!
It's time for the show. What show, you ask?
Show and tell.
Hello there, Internet. Welcome to the Adventurers Guild. I'm Steve. And I'm Nevets. That's right, it's Nevets, not Jesse. Unfortunately, Jesse is MIA this week, taking care of some personal matters, so I am unfortunately joined by my twin brother, who, quite frankly, I despise.
Hey, don't be a jerk.
I mean, just tell him the truth, man.
Fair enough.
So anyway, as you heard in the introductory bumper, we've got a really cool one tonight. We are deciding what is the best first-party Nintendo Switch game.
We sure are. And I'm way smarter, so I'm going to be right.
Sure. And I think it should be quite interesting. He and I tend to have differing opinions.
That's because your opinions suck and they're stupid.
If you say so. I mean, I clearly disagree with that, but
Shouldn't.
whatever. So, be sure to like and comment on this video because it's a big help. A few quick things of note. If you have not yet registered for our completely free conversation forum at guildhallforum.com, be sure to do that now because it is a great place to have a focused discussion for all things gaming.
I mean, I don't talk on there.
That's right. Nevets does not post, but that's probably for the best.
That's probably true.
Okay, so let's get down to business. The best first-party Nintendo Switch game. You want to go first, or should I?
You go
Okay.
first.
So, my pick for the best first-party game is, drumroll please, Super Mario Odyssey.
Here we go!
Okay, now my drum roll.
Okay, another drum roll. All right, we don't usually do two, but hey, what the heck. Legend of Zelda,
Breath of the Wild.
a very, very solid pick.
Thank you.
I'm surprised that for once you actually said something that is not completely idiotic.
Hey, I like games that are good too.
Fair point. Okay, fair point. Well, with that, let's see who is the smarter one here. Although, quite frankly, this really could go either way.
I don't think so.
All right. So, how about you go first, pal?
I will go first. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is amazing because it is an absolute, top to bottom, complete reinvention of the series. And I know what you're thinking. You know, why would you want to reinvent something that's already so great? People have loved the Legend of Zelda series for years and years. You know, they don't ruin what's good about Zelda. They just take it into the 21st century, for lack of a better term. You know, this Zelda game is completely open world. You can do literally whatever you want, whenever you want. The world itself is absolutely breathtaking. I can't even comprehend how Nintendo was able to manage to cram a game that vast and that beautiful onto the hardware of the Nintendo Switch. And sure, you know, there's been ports of things like The Witcher 3 after that, you know, that have kind of shown that you can do that. But especially when that game first dropped, my goodness, did it showcase what the Switch could do. There's so many cool and interesting things about that game. The combat system, where you basically have to, you know, use the weapons that you can just scrounge up from wherever, because no weapon lasts forever. You find a nice sword, well, do I use it now? Or do I save it for a battle that I need it for? Because after, 20-25 hits, it's going to break. There's that survival aspect that's never been a part of The Legend of Zelda before that makes it extremely interesting and extremely unique. You have to collect these different weapons to see what's the best useful when. It's not just play the game, get the Master Sword as fast as you can, kill everything and win. As a matter of fact, speaking of the Master Sword, even the Master Sword in this game can break, quote unquote. I mean, it doesn't break, but you use it too much and it has to recharge. So you're forced to switch weapons. So there's not even an end-all be-all weapon in this game from that matter. As a matter of fact, even taking into account the fact that the Master Sword never breaks, there's still weapons that are better in certain situations. All the different armor types you can wear. This game takes the RPG survival element and cranks it up to 10. There's so many interesting pieces and complexities to it. The game strips out the typical dungeon from the Legend of Zelda. There's not the here's the water dungeon, here's whatever. The dungeons in this game are these giant mechanical creatures called divine beasts. You have to work your way through the dungeon, the divine beast, and at the end there's a form of Calamity Ganon that you have to fight. And each one has a different form of Ganon that you battle. And then there's also what I guess you would refer to as mini dungeons, but in this case they're called shrines in this game. And these areas are quite literally just miniature puzzles that you need to discover to get to the end of the shrine. And there's tons of them scattered all over the map. There's so many cool places you can go in and explore. Say there's a mountain in the distance. You want to go climb it? Go climb it. Zelda games, for the most part, have always been linear experiences. I mean, sure, that's not 100% the case. Sometimes you can do things in a little bit different order, but for the most part, you follow the order of the game. And that's just not the case here. The game is a 10 out of 10. It's a masterpiece, and there's just nothing that you can say that's going to be able to argue that with your pick.
All right. You have good points. I mean, like I said before you went into your whole spiel there, which was, I will admit, quite convincing.
Yeah, I'm right.
I didn't disagree that your choice was good.
Fair enough. Okay. Yeah, well.
I do think mine's better.
It is not better.
So, how about now we see just what makes Super Mario Odyssey the superior choice for best first-party game?
I would love to hear this.
All right. Super Mario Odyssey
is unquestionably the best first-party Nintendo Switch game. Let's take a step back for a second and look at all of the 3D platform Marios as a whole. So, Mario was kind of rebooted, so to speak, into the 3D world with Super Mario 64 for the Nintendo 64. As the games came out after that are 3D Marios, Mario Sunshine, Mario Galaxy, etc., etc., the games constantly iterate themselves in new and exciting ways. Better graphics, better features, more exciting things that Mario can do in a 3D space. Mario Odyssey is the culmination of that entire iterative process, basically. There is, it's Mario. The gameplay mechanics have always been and always will be flawless. But, it introduces cool new mechanics. In this game, you get Cappy, which is the hat that can essentially be thrown to take over real-life things, inanimate objects. You basically can become them in this game. So it adds a really cool depth and interesting mechanic to an already fantastic game with already fantastic built-in mechanics from the previous versions. There's, the world is beautiful, like you said about Breath of the Wild. The fact that Nintendo was able to put a game this big and this beautiful on the hardware limitations of the Nintendo Switch, it's incredibly impressive, and I don't understand how they pulled it off. There's so many different worlds, such a vast array of different things you can explore. Nintendo always has, 10,000 different ideas they try to shove into one Mario game, and it proves here. Everything from the Metro Kingdom, where you go into a city, to, you can go to a world that's literally just food. I mean, there's a world built out of food. How insane is that? There's the desert world. There's everything you can imagine is just condensed and put into this game in a way where it's cool, it's interesting. You never get bored playing this game. It is probably the best platform game maybe ever made. And I don't just mean Mario, I mean in general. This game is just perfect from every possible perspective. It's beautiful. It plays perfectly. The game is an absolute 10 out of 10. You know, it is just the kind of game that you pick up and you never want to put down. And that's why I picked what I picked.
So, how about that, tough guy?
I mean, the points are okay, but I mean, I don't think it tops it.
I guess it's time just to see who has been more convincing.
I guess it is.
All right. So I will go ahead and give my opinion first. So based on all of the facts that I have laid out, you have laid out, I think my vote for best first-party Nintendo Switch game is, sadly, I agree with you. Breath of the Wild.
Ha ha!
Take that. Listen, I know the whole Star Wars debacle, the whole debacle with Lord of the Rings. Yes,
Because I'm smart.
you know, going into this, I thought that Mario Odyssey would, they're both 10s.
I'll give you that,
I thought
yes.
in my head that, Mario Odyssey is just, it iterates so well on what's been good that it had to have been the choice. But
That's the problem. It iterates.
everything you were saying about the complete reinvention, blah, 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 the open world aspect, it's, I
Exactly.
mean, you're spot on.
Yeah, well,
Yes, well, when you deserve a compliment, you get a compliment.
thank you.
So
I think.
that is my pick. Now, hopefully, you have decided to be nice and pick mine, so I can not be completely embarrassed. But let's hear your choice.
My choice is clearly Legend of Zelda: Breath
Okay,
of the Wild.
Well, as I expected. So, unfortunately, we have both picked Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. I lost to my twin, who does not even
Smart
belong
twin.
on this show. That's embarrassing.
Don't be embarrassed, buddy. It's okay. Everybody makes mistakes.
Well, fair enough. Huh. Unfortunately, that is going to bring us to the end of our episode. Jesse, we'll be back in full swing with plenty more shows next week.
God, I miss him.
Until then, you may have to bear with this guy for a while. Who knows? Maybe I'll kick him out of the house and he won't get to be in anything ever again. Don't forget to like the video, drop a comment down below. It's super helpful. But I think that just about does it. You want to do the wrap up?
I sure do. For the Adventurers Guild, this has been Show and Tell. I'm Nevets.
And I'm Steve. And we'll catch you next time.